Welcome back to the 2022-23 Extravaganza Tournament Final Play Testing Yada Yada. This is Sharkbait and Puddnhead coming back at you with some firepower.
Yeah.
We've got Adramelech Warlock played by Treecko. Sorry, Treecko. Not my fault. And totally my fault, actually. Planning to kill it with fire, and of course Sharkbait planning to kill it with more fire with the powered up Adramelech Warlock in the lower right,
With the fire.
and playing red.
Yep.
So we'll see how this goes.
This is what I like to do.
And you played this
Fire
game
and
today, right?
I did. I played this game earlier.
Well,
It's a very
yes.
fun game.
When
And
this
when I saw the
releases,
mirror, I'm like, oh god.
how often do you mirror this lady?
I very rarely run into a mirror match, actually.
Well, it's looking very mirror right now.
Yeah, which is why it was funny. So it's about to get interesting.
Okay.
Yep. So this is a soft opener for me. This is one of those where I'm like, I'm not really sure what he's gonna do, but this is generally good, and I can also use it to kind of make sure that like there's a lot of mana sitting there. I'm ready for aggression, and I am trying to make sure that I can withstand that because a couple extra turns of setup means I can turn the aggression right back. One of the
So
things
at this
that
point, I'm going to assume
oh,
you're going to deploy yourself a Dragon Scale Hauberk and cast
oh
a
yeah,
Leather and a Hawkeye.
I believe that's what I do. And one of the things that like everybody mistakes with this mage is she doesn't have to attack fast; she just has to attack suddenly, and she's very good at it.
And there's a pentagram in your face.
Yep. So this got really interesting.
Wow.
Yep, we got it.
Oh, you
Oh
got a
yeah, that's right. I did the
crystal?
crystal instead. Yeah, that's right. I forgot
What?
I did that. Yep, a little bit extra
What?
economy there.
In the face of an Adramelech Warlock, can you do economy?
I want to see what he's gonna do. Plus,
Okay.
I actually have. At this point, I was still planning to possibly bring out a fire elemental at some point, which is ironically good against
Yeah, that would
Adramelech
be really
Warlock.
good against the Adramelech Warlock.
So,
I mean, you still have to deal with the Hauberk, but you can explode that, right?
uh, that's why I have explode. It's for
I know.
Halbergs.
I know. That's why you have
That's the other
explode.
reason, actually. The other reason I decided to put another crystal down. Halbergs cost 12 to explode, and if I channel 12, I can usually save up to do that and something useful on the same turn.
Okay. You mean exploding a Hauberk isn't that useful?
That's not what I meant to imply there, but it's more like I can do something else with the other action, right? Instead of it being whatever.
Instead of being a one action turn
Yeah,
with
or instead of
with a
having to
punch
save
or
up like
something.
specifically too much for it, it doesn't take that much extra to shift into an explode turn, especially if
Mhm.
you're ready to attack.
I see the aggression is mounting for you.
Oh yeah. That mask is awesome. If you can get a burn down too, you can also sustain
Heal
yourself
from it,
pretty
yeah.
well. Yeah.
You got the Pierce 1, and there comes the curses. Mage
Yep.
burn.
I beat him to the mage bane.
Is he going to Mage Bane
Excuse me.
you this time?
Yep. I don't think I'm giving much away here by telling you that, but yeah, he's gonna do that and flip it over.
Yep. There you go. So you're one damage ahead of him.
Technically. Yeah. So it's
He's
about to
going to
get
stay
real interesting.
put. Okay.
Yep. Decided not to move in because moving closer to the Adramelech Warlock, who's already is slightly more prepared, is bad for your health. So one of the things I thought about doing here was nuking the mana shard just because it'd be funny, but I don't think that I needed to do that. Right, the way this is going, and I'm pretty sure that's a rust. Um, I don't remember at this point, but the way this is going, it's going to be I need to kill the mage before he can get really a lot of use out of that pentagram, and to do that, I need to be putting on leather, and I need to be making sure that I get damage that sticks onto him. Right, everything else is kind of like side notes, but I need to start putting damage down and getting the threat on there while making sure that his creatures aren't going to do too much to me.
Yeah. No. Damage that sticks sounds to me like you just poison blooded this guy.
It's possibly a poison. I don't remember which order I went. It's poison blood or rust, but
Yeah.
and rust is there for the inevitable Halberg that will be coming out, right? So, excuse me, because right now with my piercing 1, Halberg would put him at 2 armor.
Mm-hmm.
Rust brings it back down to 0, and allows
gives
me
you a
to roll
curse. Yeah.
those. Well, the dice that I would lose, which is only like 2 dice, are now more effective. So that's what the point of the rust was. Not that that
Okay.
wasn't super obvious, but I like to leave with the rust because it at least gives you some more damage on the turn that the halberd comes out.
So we
Craven's
can
an
see
interesting choice here too.
fire shaper ring here.
I believe
Damage
he
living
comes out,
creature. Yep, that's a 4 dice attack coming at you.
yeah.
Getting
4 dice
right through
attack
that armor.
because Mage Bane will make that stick pretty quickly, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like weird pseudo bloodthirsty thing.
Yeah. Pseudo bloodthirsty is way better than bloodthirsty.
Not way better, but it's definitely better in that you get your target choice. And
Yeah.
piercing 2 is pretty nice.
Taunting imp.
Yeah. This part got weird.
Well, Skelex is in the same zone as I've never seen this guy. I mean,
Yeah,
I know about him, but
I had to double check what taunt did.
yeah.
It's a funny idea.
Well, it means that you have to attack, right?
It means I have to melee attack Skelex if I'm in the same zone.
Okay,
So
so if you
those
are
distinctions are
magically not in
important.
the same zone,
Yeah.
you're
So those
okay.
distinctions are important. I actually
Rust
had to open
and
it up and look.
Hawkeye
Yep.
and Flame
Flame
Blast.
I figured even if it dissolved it in the next quick cast, I would still get 2 uses out of it, though I don't think
Yep.
the high priority I don't think the elemental one was a high priority to get rid of.
So we got, yes, the Pierce is correct.
Yep. So we can get that right at some point. We talk about it real quick. I don't know if you saw the rust, but the rust, so that, like I said, the rust is there to basically counteract the outbreak that just came out. And I'm expecting to be okay here because, 4 dice, and I don't remember if we auto this or if he checks it
Oh,
all. Yeah,
man.
that's right. He has 6 crits. That's right. We don't even have to
6
worry
crit.
about it.
Wow. That's a lot of damage.
That was an angry, angry wolf.
Make that arrow go away. Come on. Come on, Treecko.
You're not gonna like that. It's gonna be there for a little
Ah.
while.
Automatic burns on you for that.
So as you can see, I'm technically losing this match. But I do like the position I'm in. I feel pretty good about where we're at right now.
Yeah, you have 3 more mana and 1 more damage.
3 more mana, 1 more damage.
That's not a big difference.
More effective armor. I have regen.
And he's got a couple of dudes out that can give you some stabbing.
Yep. And I've got enough mana to explode the halberd. So okay.
And do something useful.
Yeah. See.
Like put on a piece of leather.
Piece of leather, and then maybe a curse for the next turn. Yeah, there's all kinds of options here. But it was fun seeing this book. I don't know if I agree. Like if Skelax was a Dark Slayer instead, I think that this would be a pretty high threat group of creatures to deal with, right? The piercing 2 on both creatures would be effectively making my armor super tough to get full use out of, and those things are pretty tough beaters. Plus flame -2 on the Dark Slayers would make it so that it'd be really tough to get rid of. So there's my favorite move in the game.
Yeah. 8 damage.
Really good roll on it.
7 damage, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't get the pierce for that one.
I believe.
Oh no, you do have the rust though.
I believe the rust makes it so it's fine. Yeah. So, and then I put more armor on.
Wow, you got yourself some 5 armor there.
Well, it's only 3 against Craven, but yeah.
Still, 3 against Craven should be good. Oh, it is good this time.
It is good this time. He's a little less angry. But I also
Still
moved
haven't
away from
stuck any
Skelex
burns
because
on him. Why haven't you
yeah,
gotten
I
any
didn't.
burns on him?
Well, because the dice didn't want me to get burns. I don't know, man.
You're
I
just
tried.
failing
I've
at being
I've
a
thrown
warlock. Just
I've thrown fire. I'm just saying.
there's the
So the
poison
poison blood
blood.
comes down from him earlier than the one I did. So at this point, it's still a pretty close game. But those mage banes are doing some serious work for each of us.
Yeah, it's just a clock on the game.
Yeah,
You've got 15 rounds to do something, and that's if you don't take any other damage.
right. So at this point, like I say, I like the book. I think I've done a little bit different creature choices myself. Um,
Yeah,
but
Firefist Brawler is an interesting choice.
well, you can get if you mark someone for death, you can get them up to 3 dice, which is a pretty high chance of a burn. Um, I would use them as I don't know. If Skelax was a Dark Pact Slayer instead, and then you start bringing out brawlers, I think you're in a good spot. Skelax, I think, is one holding this one back. It's a fun idea, the taunt, but it's really easy to play around, and it's not really advancing your board state otherwise. He's not really that high of a threat for me to have to deal with, so I can kind of just ignore him. I don't even have to waste a Flame Blast on him.
Huh. Yeah.
But I say overall, the plan is pretty good. It's just a little bit adjustment to it.
There's a reason people take Dark Pact Slayer.
Dark Pact
Does
Slayer's
have
a
the flame
really good
minus
dude.
2,
Yep.
and
Flame
it does
minus
4
2,
damage and piercing 2.
and it's got like 14 life.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
hefty.
just it's a tough dude, man.
And there are all of your keys to success now
Yep.
activated.
The
There's
engine's
another
on, so
Hauberk.
even though there's another Halberg, it doesn't matter at this point because Hawkeye and Fire Shaper offset it, and then I get +1 from Flame +1. You know.
Oh, you are required to melee attack.
Correct. So I passed. Craven takes a shot, gets some more damage in. Not bad. Um, at this point, I'm just letting him run his actions out.
He's running away.
Yep, trying to run away and put a belt on. I thought he might do that. So I leave the zone and decide to hit him with it.
Oh, wow.
Pretty
7
really,
damage in there.
I got a really good roll there.
There's your
7
burn.
damage on 5 dice, and I finally got a burn. The dice were definitely hot for me, especially at that part. And the dice were not very hot for the Firefist Brawlers, who honestly could have done more. I don't know. The fact that I'm wearing the Halberg makes them the activation strategy I was talking about with them earlier
Yeah.
really really tough to do.
Yeah, even if he does give a mark for death on there, they're still only rolling 1 die.
Right. So you need to get rid of the
That's a
Halberg
flame
first
attack.
and then mark him for death. Like it's doable. It's just there's a lot of moving parts to it that I don't personally like. So I like would have one of them maybe, but have 2 bigger creatures like Craven and a Dark Pact Slayer.
I've been kind of impressed with Craven recently. He's
Craven's been pretty good.
yeah, combining him with Magebane just is the way to go for sure.
Yeah, I'm contemplating putting Craven into my book at this point because of how well he did this game. Like he's really good, and it's not just the 6 crits, but it's the 4 dice piercing too. It's also really nice.
Yeah, he's a Dark Pact Slayer for 9 instead of for 14.
Yeah, he's slightly weaker in that he has 1 less armor and 3 less life, but he's also 4 mana cheaper. So like
And he's
that's
regenerate
okay.
1.
Oh yeah, and that too. I even remember that. So you really have to focus him to kill him. The Ring of Curses is just more like kind of win more as opposed to being super useful for the
And
build.
there's your Poison Blood to counteract the
Yep.
regen.
Poison Blood to counteract the Regrowth Belt, which cost him an action and 6 mana. So like, I technically kind of won that trade as well.
Because it only costs you 4.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just throwing
Oh
fire
my
to put the burns
gosh.
on, and I rolled 6 crits. Now, granted, the armor is not relevant, but I did roll above average on the damage as well. So like,
Right.
plus one was really nice. And then I don't think. Oh, I did get a burn too. So
What does
it
he do?
was he actually got rid of my action mark.
Oh, yeah. He can,
So
if he stays there, he can transfer the burn to you.
that's why I moved there actually, so that if you want to stay here with me, that's fine. I'm okay with that. If you want to leave, you have to put the burn on something else. Because if I had stayed away, yeah, he would either way to put the burn on me. I guess he would have had to move to my zone, and I would have been cool with that.
Oh my gosh. He is running out of
Um,
time here. 2 more spells
yeah.
and he's dead.
Well, yeah, I don't remember what he put on me at this point.
I can scroll down a little bit here. But we don't know.
Yeah. So he's got a wall of bones, and he's hoping that solves the problem here, because I can't see him, and he's trying to run away. But
What?
by
He's
putting
got
up that
poison
wall of
blood.
bones, I say by putting up the wall of bones and cursing me or whatever he did, makes it so that you can't get rid of the Mage Bane and
Right.
Poison Blood and heal. Like you can't do all of that.
So he's got to stay away from you
Yeah, the whole rest of the time.
the whole game and get. Oh,
Yep.
he only needs 14 damage on you, and he's got 4 creatures out there. So
I think it's doable. I think the extra curse on me is probably the thing they shouldn't have done. Because that would have given him a chance to actually try to heal.
yeah,
But being the position that I'm in right now, I'm surrounded by 2 dudes who hit me for 1 die each, and the other
yeah,
guys can't hit me, and he can't put me in position to deal with the other 2 because
he
one
dies.
spell cast and I win.
Right.
So that extra spell actually probably cost him pretty bad. The board state, like I said, the other 2 creatures there are actually fairly strong. Like there's enough dice on the field to make it so it could happen. I just one is not enough of a buffer. I think you need 2 there to get rid of Mage Bane and then find a way to heal.
Yeah, you need to remove curse and
I think
get rid of the
remove
poison
curse or
blood
purge.
and the mage bane at the same time. Yeah,
Yeah,
purge would work too. That would be
yeah,
worth it.
yeah. Purge would actually be cheaper to get rid of all 3 in this case.
Yep.
And then you can let your
5,
regen do the
10,
work for you, or
15.
you
Yeah.
can you can bring a heal with you, like 5 mana for a heal if you run a minor heal. So
He's done with the
lots of
planning
options,
phase.
but
He's chosen
yeah,
not to plan any spells.
yeah, because he can't. And so here's the
Well,
Dark Pact Slayer, which is again a really good creature. I like Dark Pact Slayers a lot. I'm gonna
oh,
go ahead and
well,
take the Mage Bane damage and cast an idol and effectively guarantee the victory there.
well, nice.
I thought about deathlocking instead, but
He's just
I'm
like,
like,
okay,
I don't
fine.
need to. It was like, if it had gone on too much longer, I could have been in trouble. So
Yep.
I'm actually curious. I don't remember what you want to hover over and hit Control P and see what the spell is that's on me.
It's cheating. Tar
Star
trap.
Trap. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even look at that.
That gives you flame +1, so that would have let them roll an extra die. Or no, because you didn't have
No,
mark for death
they
on
still would have
yet.
been only at 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Which it could have helped. It would have been not so effective by the time, like, because next turn I could react and just get away too, right? I could have just teleported. And I do have 2 teleports in that book. So yeah, it was like I said, I like the concept of that book. It's a very fun, different way to play the Warlock than I like to play. Um, I would have just chosen the creatures a little bit differently in the beginning,
Yeah.
but that's just personal preference there too. So
Yeah, so it turns out that like Craven was the one high threat that you had to avoid
yep,
or just soak in order
yeah,
to be able to do your plan.
yeah.
If he had had
If there
Craven
was
and the
2 of
Slayer
them,
out
it,
there,
I would have had to probably deal with the creatures.
yeah.
Because Craven's a really high threat, and the Dark Pact Slayer is even tougher for me to deal with. I probably would have just tried to knock out Craven first, which gives you time to build up the board state that
Hmm.
would put you at an advantage. Skelax, unfortunately, as fun as the idea is, never works out. At least my experience does not work out in practice as well as you'd like him to. I don't know. I've not seen Skelax work out great, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't try and keep trying it, but I just haven't seen it. So
All right.
yeah,
Well,
it was
that
a
was
fun game though.
Group B, Sharkbait versus Treecko.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Group B's
joining us, everybody.
trucking right along.